played against Rufai in that last game, week one, in the dying embers of the match. I mean, he could have respected Rufai and gone for the proper ball passes around, but he
I
didn't.
think Farouk also made
Made that similar mistake. Imagine somebody I know that if there's anybody that will have a chink in the armor of Rufai, I think it is Imaji, because he's that kind of guy who doesn't take any of those type of chances. But let's see if this will be what as expected, or Rufai and his band of freaks continue on because it has been nothing but freakish all throughout.
It's been nothing but special. If you're a big lover of the NBA and you're in the chat, Rufai kind of reminds me of what the Indiana Pacers did this year. You didn't expect them to go far within the East.
Oh yes, that first time,
and then I'll be champions. And
he starts like he always does.
How does he always keep doing
He starts like he always does.
His first chance always ends up in a goal.
In the first 5 minutes, he gets a goal, but that was terrible.
This is insane. I think the only game where he didn't score early was against Farouk. All of the games in the first 5 minutes, he has a goal. So I was likening Rufai's heroics to the likes of the Indiana Pacers and Tyrese Haliburton. Nobody expected them to be the Eastern Conference champions, beat the Bucks, beat the Cavs, went on to also beat the Knicks in our conference finals, and of course, lost to the OKC Thunder in 7 games. Nobody expected them to actually go in 7 games. Of course, the tragedy of Haliburton's Achilles injury also coming to play. But Rufai's story so similar to how the Indiana Pacers are. And if that is the way he will go, then maybe he's possibly finishing in top 4 in this league. But the way he started,
listen,
very, very
if he continues with this rich reign of form, I think we are on for something. I don't think
anybody in the whole of the league has played much tougher opponents in their first 4 games as compared to Rufai. Nobody.
I agree with you. Initially, it was going to be Imaji
or Mitchell, but still
Imaji also because
because he also played Farouk and then Ade for
and then now he gets to play what they call him, Rufai in this own side. But now one thing I'm going to say is this: for somebody like Rufai, I don't think there's anybody who has won won people over to his side as much as Rufai has done. First 2 game weeks.
He's been nothing short of exceptional, and it's been a joy watching him.
Now we see Rufai now holding on to the ball in front of that 18-yard box, dancing around, trying to carve out options for himself consistently. He has options. Neat passing 1-2.
Imagine this first few minutes, nowhere to be found. It's still early days, but Rufai is being the one that is being the dominant force on this one. He's controlled affairs. Of course, he's got his goal to also show for all of his work. I feel like for him, everything that he puts together, always the end results look positive. Against Farouk, even in that last part of the last 7 minutes when Farouk had that goal that we all thought was going to be the winner, he still found a way to go through. The end result always looks positive.
Absolutely.
For Rufai.
Absolutely. I think that's a testament to him making his own luck with the way he takes his opportunities and he grabs them very greedily with both hands. And here's that Olise card we were talking about and how so important he is to Rufai's style of play. Player locked, pass, extra pass.
Sweet 10. No, if you're taking the shot earlier, maybe different results.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I wondered why there was that pause in. Oh, good.
For Manny and I, we've got the benefit of hindsight. But if you're in game under that kind of pressure, the pressure doesn't get to this one, people. Rufai is simply cooking.
The man with ice in his veins. Let's cause another one.
I know we've enjoyed Keller Freaks games. He's been dominant. I know we've enjoyed Adefole's games. He's been dominant. They have been perfect 3 out of 3. But come on now, the poll is out. You can get your votes in, and there've already been 75 votes and 64 people.
Absolutely.
I expected Rufai to win.
That is
wow. Just 6 people expecting Imaji to win and 5 votes for the draw.
That is staggering.
I mean, you can't blame the votes at all. From what we've seen, if you are leaning towards Rufai, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the goals also makes it easier for you to say, okay, you know what, I want to lean into him. And Rufai's story has been crazy. It's not something you can write off a script. Nobody could give this guy this amount of chance. I mean, taking 10 off a possible 12. Yes, he does it again.
No way.
3 goals to the good. And we are still in early days.
20 minutes in.
My oh my.
Wow.
This could get even bloodier. It seems like there's nothing that Imaji could do right now. every single thing he's doing, it seems to be going, what's his name, Rufai's way at the moment. Rufai just trying his way to blow him out of the water. Rufai still needs to score more and more. There's 9 minutes game. It's a 9 minutes half game. There's still so much that can happen. Ensure your opponent has no business coming back. That's the only way you are guaranteed.
It's so admirable the way he's using that 4-2-1-3 in the sense that the position that the Brenner plays is so important. Imaji, he just want to go in and well.
What a move that was.
He desperately needed that one.
What a move that was. See what I was
saying? And he has a
lifeline
to hold on to.
Yes, this was I was talking about when we talk about scoring more goals. Listen, a 3-goal lead in FC, it looks very big until you get scored one. And then all of a sudden, it looks like it's not so big anymore. And all of a sudden, the momentum might shift in favor of your opponents. But if there's anybody we trust to give us a nervy and crazy finish, it is Rufai.
It is indeed. He has not disappointed at all. That's really for Imaji will take his time and break through that Rufai press. Does that incredibly well. Sends the runner with Ronaldo. And you see how he sends 2 different runners, but ends up ignoring those. The first runner was from the right-hand side. I think it was Hansen also, and then he sent also Rudhulit. Sometimes that's the way to beat the press. Well, that's a weird pass to give. Immediately I start praising, he gives away the ball. Commentators think maybe coming to play and all of that. But triggering runs is just a low-key way of breaking through the press.
It's a very basic way
exactly.
of ensuring the game is played properly.
Your opponent is thinking you're going that way with that pass. It kind of relieves the pressure a little bit because those guys that your opponents have sent for the press, they'll have to go back and then track some of those runs. So very important move from Imaji in these situations. He really needs to hold on to the ball. Can't afford to let another one in from Rufai on the offensive end. He's got to be perfect. It's that onside. And I think he
offside. He knew it.
He definitely knew.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a pause before the player executed the pass. I think it was down to the player's animation that that one turned out to be an offside. But regardless of the matter, I think lately we have been seeing Imaji build some momentum. This is where he is very dangerous. Imaji is not someone who maybe he concedes first 2-3 goals and I'm so worried. But where I start getting worried is when he's not getting that momentum. But right now, he's building that momentum and he's building it very well.
So ideally, we've heard a lot about what Farouk has done in the scene, what Adefala has done in the scene, what the likes of Mr. Oga have also done in the scene. Imagine someone that I've heard of that he's also been really good. But did he have like a spell of dominance so far with your time within the AFC?
You know what? I wouldn't say with my time. I don't know the time before me if he had that huge spell. But don't forget, he also has 3 championship wins during the time before I started coming into esports. So we have to give him that presence as an OG. Look at that goal scored by Anife. Of course, that amazing goal giving him the lead in that. Wow, what a shot that was in that one. Now going back to Imaji. But I think at a certain point in time, his relevance and his name began to reduce a bit. And I think maybe because of his lack of participation in some of these tournaments also, due to whatever reason, also did not help his career growth in that aspect. But he is one of these few who has been consistent over the ages. I think Imaji has been in the esports scene for the past 10 years. I think he has for the past 10 years. And for somebody to be at this level, always been in that conversation for the past 10 years, it tells you that this is not somebody you play around with.
Yeah, indeed. And he's shown us that he did mean serious business. Imagine just one of those guys that when you walk into the building, like my first time being in Nigeria, and in fact, just he commands a lot of respect from the guys within the community. You can see humble guy, a guy who a lot of people speak highly of. And when you're breaking down the game with him, I think you saw him on the analysis board with Tommy Day, like just seems to understand what FC means. And just like Manny said, he's been here the whole of the time. He's seen different iterations of the game and he just knows what he's all about. It's truly special to see what that guy does on a daily basis. But you need to channel his inner deep peak Imaji to be able to come back from this one, because Rufai wants to run away with this one. About 3 minutes to go before.
I mean, if there's anybody
this one closes,
if there's anybody who we can trust to deliver in terms of goals, okay, we have a replay. All right, we're going to give you guys that as it happens. If there's anybody we trust to get something out of Rufai, in terms of emotion, I think it's Imaji. That's how we were seeing it. We saw a game where he was losing by 3-1, and all of a sudden he was up by 3-3.
I mean, I do believe that Imaji can't come back. But the thing that gives me utmost confidence is the fact that it's Rufai that's playing. You almost feel like because it's Rufai, there will be some sort of drama. My man is just on
You
the
know what?
match.
Yes, I totally agree with you in that scenario. Here's a chance for Imaji, but Rufai has his attention fully. You know one funny thing I noticed that Imaji doesn't really do first time of
Yeah. We haven't seen that too much of him.
We don't see much of the meta.
He has it in the back pocket. You release it at a specific time because we've seen it from a set like some players.
Yes,
they don't do that frequently, but when it's needed and they are desperate and they find the opportunity to do that, they can always go back to that.
Absolutely, I agree with you. But here is Rufai with another attack of his own. He needs to get the goal for comfort for himself, and he knows it, of course. I think for Rufai, at the very least, he should ensure he gets a win here. But for Imaji, a draw in this game is going to mean so much for him.
Rodri over the top. That's brilliant. Rufai needs this one. Huge save, Konate. That's a big one. Getting the fingertips to the ball. That's really,
another
big.
Header. Another header from the corner there, but this time around. Imaji is wary of Rufai's ability in that area. And it is for 54 minutes on the clock in game time. Not so much for Imaji right now, but it's too much time for Rufai to defend this lead. Nice tackle there. And Imaji somehow survives that Rufai's attack.
So for his DMs, Rodri and Hullet, I think the roles that are on them are quite different. I think he's got one of them of holding and one of them joins the attack later on. You'd realize that as we get to see the poll again, it keeps increasing in Rufai's favor. I guess the fans love what they see from a dreadlock man. 95 votes in his favor, 8 votes in Imaji's favor. Keep the votes coming in. 8 people do believe that this game will end in a draw. I'm one of those 8 people, by the way. If this game ends in a draw, I'd absolutely love it. But
and you're going to be needing something in terms of a gift prize or prize for calling that one. Talking about this game. Also, if you notice, Harry Kane is no longer the striker as we did see last week for Imaji. But right now he's choosing to go with Ronaldo and Olise. Of course. Oh, beautiful left-footed strike. Finessed into the top corner, but the goalkeeper was very, very active.
That's what I love about the league, in the sense that last week it was Harry Kane. And if you were listening to Imaji when he was speaking about the reason why he actually dropped Harry Kane, you'd understand why it's a guy like Ronaldo in there. Harry Kane is not going to give you the perfect advantage when it comes to the speed boost and all of that. He's good when it comes to link-up play. But right now, Imaji knows he needs goals. He needs clinical finishers. He needs guys that have the aerial ability. I think Kane does have that, but Ronaldo just clears him a little bit in that category. So the fact that this tournament is being held for 5 weeks is just showing us that they will keep changing, and if in on goal, beautiful finish. Of course, the finesse comes in. Thierry Henry registers that one to go down.
5-1 for Hanife there. But I wanted to quickly chip this in terms of the Harry Kane card. One I prefer the most is the Harry Kane shapeshifter card that has the center mid, because he's very strong. And if he ever gets into a position of shooting, you don't have to think twice. He has that ability to finish the goals. But as a striker, as a center forward, is not my preferred option.
Credit to Rufai. What he's done to Imaji is the fact that he's using very well the offside trap. Imaji is just kind of struggling to play those two balls, especially the ground through balls. I've seen it on a couple of occasions right now. Like, it looks like it's clear when you play the through ball, your player's on. But just at the last second when he's about to play it, there is the offside trap, and it always catches him off guard. Imaji struggling to break through that defensive line as we head into the last 20 minutes of this one. Rodman working hard to win back the ball. This could be Imaji's moment. Brilliant interception from Rodri.
He tried to force that one through, but you know what? I can smell the goal coming, and it's going to happen in the next couple minutes, because both players are now testing each other out end to end. Both players are beginning to trade a little bit of the caution to the wind. So let's see if that's going to be turning out into some goals on either side. Or I highly doubt we're going to be sticking with the 3-1 scoreline. This will be probably the lowest scoreline we have seen in this competition so far.
Well, and the fact that we haven't seen that tells you how exciting some of these games have been. Rufai holds on to it. Maybe the goal that will get him that much important breather. But not on that occasion. Konate comes and claims there's still that glimpse of hope. for Imaji this one. That's it. Brilliant pass to Ronaldo. He's in on goal. He's got options to choose from. Goes for the roulette instead, which is a weird option in my opinion.
That was absolutely.
And looking at Imaji's calm, he knows that he's messed up with that one.
That particular movement was absolutely unnecessary. I thought he was going to go with it because knowing Ronaldo, he had that physicality to do something right there, and I was expecting Ronaldo to at least get the shot off, but that roulette was questionable.
Very questionable. I get that he wanted to take time off a little bit, invite more of the supporting options in, but was that the skill move to go to? Sometimes we can question these players all day, but if you're on the hot seat and you're thinking hot, it's always difficult to pull them off.
Rufai finally gets it.
That is the dagger. That's it right there.
That's the one who gives
It's Rufai with the nod telling you, and the smile, of course, as well. Finally.
Okay.
I think this is the first game where we are not getting drama from Rufai.
You know what? I was going to say that earlier, but you know what? I was going to go with the flow because this was it. I figured it was going to be a game of extremes. It's either one person run away with it or nobody run away with it at all. But this one has seen Rufai absolutely.
You think Imaji has himself to blame a little bit in the second half?
I agree with you. He didn't really come out of the tracks as other people have. Listen, you're 3-1 down. There's nothing to lose anymore. Yeah, come out, take some risk, push yourself to the limit. And I think he was really, really trying to.
Well, risk taking has to start now. We're less than 15 minutes away from this game coming to a close. Trying to Trivela from distance, but Rufai gets to close those angles.
I mean, that's to tell you how cautious he's been. That was the first time we've seen him perform a Trivela.
Yeah, it tells you it's in the desperate stations now.
Exactly. We haven't really seen him use some of the metas available to him in this game.
Rodri, quick spin on the bounce. Needs one to go in. Could this be the moment? That's brilliant. Huge save.
That was
just
so
unlucky that doesn't fall into Ronaldo's path.
That was so
like,
from him.
And you can see he clearly knows it.
He knows it. He knows this is like that one move has clearly summed his entire game today. It has not been the best of Imaji as we know it, and Rufai is definitely happy for that one.
Well, truly a special performance from Rufai, and what he's done within the first 4 games of our National E-Soccer League. I don't think a lot of people predicted this, but this guy right here, he's winning a lot of hearts over. Like Manny said,
absolutely.
If you weren't a big fan of him, well, now you can join the bandwagon now. He has a lot of people behind him. And I said this even before he started going on a rampage. I spoke to a couple of Ghanaians and said they were like, Rufai will do well in this tournament. I was like, yo, I haven't heard more and all of that, but this is the first time I was playing LAN.
Exactly, and we haven't really heard of him. We don't know what he is like. There's no track record, but I think he's showing us that without track record, he can really perform at this level. I think there's a pause queued because both players are currently waiting.
Rufai, he's just, and I like this from the perspective of the esports side of things, in the sense that it happens in Ghana all of the time. We can organize a tournament, open registration up to anybody, and there are just new guys that might come in, and you discover and be like, where was this guy the whole time?
You understand?
Rufai, you ask yourself, where was this guy the whole time? So now the spotlight is on him. KD Sports, the National Esports League, of course, the Esports Federation of Nigeria, all of the sponsors from Game Over, everybody putting the spotlight on him, and they can probably birth a new champion out of there. So that's the beauty of tournaments like this. You get to see people that you've never seen before, and I think it's truly a special moment to watch for Rufai. And I was listening to the history a little bit. The fact that from Adefola, that the first time that he got into the scene, he was an unknown. Nobody knew him, sprang into the scene.
And then he ran away with it.
Same story for Farouk as well. Not a lot of people knew him, got into the scene, and there it is. He's become like a serial winner. Killer Freak, somebody had to pull some strings, found him online a little bit. Like, everybody's story is unique. And if this is Rufai's story into greatness within the scene, then, well, we are glad that at least we are part of the first chapter.
I mean, if this is Rufai's story, what a script it was, really.
Indeed.
You have to say that. And one thing else is that I think this gives other unknowns, so much confidence going forward. You could come from nowhere, even if you have never been to a LAN event, and you could just come and show yourself and show yourself strong.
Show yourself indeed strong. Come here like Rufai, do not be scared of anybody. Draw with Farouk Manzo, play a 5-5 draw, beat the likes of Imaji, beat the likes of Mitchell, Baji, and he's truly done it in the most immersive way. And I also get the fit to probably seal the deal. The icing on the cake couldn't come, but for sure now, he has sealed the deal. He has got all of the 3 points that he needed. That's 10 points to his name. Congratulations to Rufai.
Congratulations, but I would say something very, very interesting. You might consider it interesting. I think this is where inexperience comes to play a little bit. He started taking the game, a little bit on serious towards the end of the game. He had two chances which he could kill off, but he didn't really, really kill them off. Now, here is why I can count out to inexperience. This is the league system. He needs goals. He needs goals to count. He needs goals to be in the top two.
He needs to be as ruthless as he can.
He needs to be as ruthless as he can.